Hey everyone, so we're down to our second to last math video. So today we are going to be working on using models to compare fractions that have the same denominator. So I'll make myself smaller and we'll get started with the solve and share. All right, so let's read the solve and share. It says Maria and Evan are both jogging a mile. Maria has jogged 7/8 of a mile and Evan has jogged 3/8 of a mile. Who has jogged a shorter shorter distance? So the first thing that we have to do, we are shown here that we have Maria and we have a block and we have Evan and we have a block. So this whole block is going to represent 1 mile. So the first thing that we have to do, we already know our denominator, so we're going to break this up into eighths. All right, so I broke this up into, oh my goodness, I cannot talk today. I broke this up into eighths. It's a little bit off just because I had to use like a stencil basically, and this is, the only size that it would go to. So I hope that doesn't confuse you. So here we go. The first thing that we're going to do in order to figure this out is it says Maria jogged 7/8 of the mile. So what we're going to do, we know that there's 8 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to color in 7 of them because she ran 7/8 of the mile. So let me get my pen here. And I'm going to make it really big so that hopefully it will fit in there. Let's go with purple for Maria. So we need to do 7. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so we showed that. And then it says that Evan has jogged 3/8 of the mile. So I'm going to go ahead and pick another color. We'll do green for him. And I'm going to color in 3 of the 8. 1, 2, 3. All right, so our question wants to know who has jogged a shorter distance. All right, so if I look here, let me make it, I can zoom in for you. Let me look here. This end here is going to be our 1 mile mark. So actually let me label that. All right, so there we go. I labeled that 1 mile is at the end. So who ran the shortest distance? So we can see that Maria is way closer to the 1 mile than Evan. So Evan is going to be the one who ran the shorter distance. If we look at our fractions, you can see that 3 is less than 7. Because we have the same denominator, we can look at that, and that gives us the hint as well. But this is just a model to help you. So Evan ran a shorter distance or jogged a shorter distance than Maria. So let's see a couple more examples, and then I'll let you go. All right, so we're looking at example number 3 and number 4. And again, it wants us to compare, and it wants us to write less than, greater to, or equal to. And we're going to use these fraction strips to help us, remembering that our alligator mouth wants to eat the bigger number. So we're looking at number 3. Can we make this any bigger? There we go. All right, so we have a fraction strip that is a whole. We have 1/8 and a 1/8, so that gives us 2/8. And we have a 1/8. So what it wants to know is 2/8 greater than, less than, or equal to 1/8. So because we're using the same denominator, this is very easy for us. Whatever numerator is bigger is what is going to be the greater fraction. So in this case, we have 2/8 and 1/8. You can see here that the 2/8 is in fact bigger than 1/8. So what we're going to do is go ahead and drag our greater than sign over here. And this is going to read 2/8 is greater than 1/8. Again, 2 is greater than 1. We are only allowed to do this because our denominators are the same, so don't forget that. And we can even see here on our model that the 2/8 is in fact bigger than 1/8. All right, we're going to look at example number 4. Again, we have a whole. I have 1, 2, 3 sixths. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sixths. Now, we want to know who's bigger, who's smaller, greater than, less than, equal to. What is the deal here? So it wants us to say 3/6 is what of 5/6? So because we have the same denominator, we can just look at the numerator. We know 3 is less than 5. So we're going to pull over our sign. Remember, our alligator mouth wants to eat the bigger fraction. So this says 3/6 is less than, 3/6 is less than 5/6. We can see here that that is in fact true. 3/6 is smaller than 5/6. I am getting tongue-tied. So I'm going to go down and I'm going to show you one more example, and then I'll leave you to do the quick check. All right, so I'm going to look at example number 9 and 10. Super easy, number 9. I have 1/2 and 1/2. If they are exactly the same, I'm just going to take my equal sign. 1/2 is equal to 1/2. Then I'm going to look at number 10. I have 1/3 and 2/3. Because my denominator is the same, I can just look at the numerator, and I know that 1 is less than 2, so I'm going to take my sign, and I'm going to say that 1/3 is less than 2/3. So I hope that that was a pretty simple lesson for you. You should be able to get this really quick, and the quick check should be super easy for you. Only one more math lesson of the year. Round of applause. Woo! All right, so I'll see you then. Bye.